Service. The team captains complete a toss scoring before a game is started. It is to determine the team who will serve first. The winner of the toss scoring can choose from the might either to serve the ball to begin a play or to receive the serve from the opponent. In serving the ball, the server must hit the ball 8 seconds after the first referee whistle for service. A service executed before the referee's whistle or signal will be cancelled. The opponent must not attack or block a service. Faults. There will be a fault if a server violates the service order. The player of the team at fault must take the correct position at the time the ball is contacted for a serve. The player in the opponent court must be in their proper order. There will be a fault called if a server doesn't execute the service properly, stepping on the service line and not releasing the ball. Failure to serve the ball over the net is fault as well. Hitting the ball to the antenna is considered an out. Hitting the ball onto the ground inside the playing area is a fault. Gameplay. Each team consists of 6 players inside the court. Both teams should submit a starting lineup that indicates the rotation order of the players on the court. This order must be maintained throughout the set. Inside each team's side of the court are 3 players on the front row and 3 players on the back row. The game started with a service. In this manner, the referee will whistle to cue a player to serve the ball. Most matches are made up of 3 or 5 sets. Each team is allowed 3 consecutive contacts of the ball in order to return it, but individual players may not touch the ball twice consecutively. The ball may hit any part of the body. Front row players may complete attack hit at any height of the ball, but in the back row players, they are allowed to attack if the ball is lower than the top of the net. And also, the attacking back row players are not allowed to step across the front zone. 2 timeouts are allowed for each team every set and will only for 30 seconds. 2 substitutes are allowed in each game for each team, and libero does not count as a sub. The game continues until one of the scores 25 points and 2 points ahead. Playing the ball. Touching the ball in an attempt to block does not count as touch. The same player may be the first contact. Contact with the ball must be brief and instantaneously. Scooping, lifting, pushing, or carrying the ball in a form of holding. A ball clearly hit from a position below the ball is considered as a good hit. Receiving a serve ball with an overhead pass using a hand is not necessarily a fault. A player is not allowed to attack the ball on the opponent's side of the net. A libero is not allowed to have an attack hit, and if the entire ball is higher than the top of the net, play will continue during the serve even if the ball makes contact with the net and goes over. Blocking. Blocking is an action of the players choose to the net to intercept the ball coming from the opponents by reaching the higher than the top of the net. Blocking may legally accomplished by only players who are in front of the service. Backline players may not participate in a block. The team which has affected a block shall have the right to 3 additional contacts after the block. Any player participating in a block shall have the right to make the next contact, such as contact counting in a block shall be legal provided it is during an attempt to intercept the ball. Blocking a spike ball is prohibited. A block ball is considered to have across the net. Rotation or position. At the moment of the ball is hit by the server, each team must be positioned within its own court in the rotational order, except the server. The position of the player are numbered as follows. The 3 players along the net are front row players, and occupying the 5 or back or left, 6 back center, 1 back right. Relative position between players. Each back row player must be positioned farther back from the center line than the corresponding front row player. The front row player and the back row players, respectively, must be positioned laterally in order indicated in the rule. The position of players is determined and controlled according to the position of their feet, contacting the ground as follows. Each front row players must have at least a part of his or her foot closer to the center line than the feet of corresponding back row player. Each right or left side player must have at least a part of his or her foot closer to the right or left sideline than the feet of the center player in the row. After the service hit, the players must move around and occupy the next position being assigned. Teams must rotate appropriately in clockwise manner. Libero. In 1998, the FIVB introduced the new specialist rule. The libero, these players wears a different colored uniforms from the rest of the team, can be constituted in back row for any player on the team. The libero cannot serve, spike the ball over the net, or rotate into the front line position, but players a vital role for the team is serve reception and back row defense. Violation. Players are not allowed to touch the ball 2 times in a row. Players may not lift the ball. 3 touches made before the ball reaches the other side. Players are not allowed to touch the net. Players are not allowed to cross other team's side. Players may not step over while serving the ball. Players are not allowed to taunt. If the ball lands outside of the court, a point is granted. A team may only make a limited number of substitutions. A point is granted to a team if the other team cannot follow the procedure. Playing the palm of hands, double count, line ball, and stepping.